One-on-One on OSU Student Radio, KXUY, Sunlink Channel 112, live from Studio 318 here on the beautiful campus of Oklahoma State University. How are you doing today, Logan?
It's really good. It's a good Friday, big football game tomorrow. Could kind of decide the Cowboys Bowl eligibility. I'm kind of nervous about that, but it's a good Friday. A lot of the hard schoolwork's over. We're going into Thanksgiving break next week. It's good stuff ahead.
Yeah, we do have an exciting show ahead.
Yes.
Obviously, we're going to talk about football, baseball, a ton going on in basketball, which this entire state is all behind the anti-Kevin Durant
we were
bandwagon.
Ahead. We were ahead of the bandwagon.
They were the bandwagon, and now Draymond Green seems to be jumping on that. But we have a lot of college football to get into, some interesting games in the Big 12 and out in Yankee Stadium, ironically enough, a football game being played there. But we will jump into Oklahoma State, West Virginia, Senior Day at 2:30 tomorrow in Boone Pickens Stadiums. Those 14 seniors, which I am going to throw Justice Hill in there because, I don't know if he's going to walk tomorrow. I don't know if Darian Daniels is going to walk tomorrow. But seniors, Justice Hill is a junior, but this may be his last game in Stillwater.
Yeah.
We don't know, but thank you to those seniors, and I think that they have earned to have a full stadium tomorrow and Boone Pickens, especially to watch a top 10 team coming here in Stillwater. We've beat a top 10 team in Boone Pickens so far this season. I think it's a possibility that could happen again. So if you're looking at this game, obviously, take away your Oklahoma State bias out of it. I don't know if you can have bias the way this year's going.
Yeah.
But looking at this, where do you see this game going tomorrow?
Well, West Virginia, really high-powered offense. And like you said, that the senior class deserves to have a big crowd in there, and the crowd's going to play a big part. Not obviously as big a part as the coaching decisions or the players that are out there or anything like that, but the crowd's going to matter because it mattered against Texas, the other top 10 team that came in here and lost. The crowd was a key part in that big win for homecoming. And there were other elements to that to hype up the emotion, such as Barry Sanders, the uniforms. It's just homecoming in general.
Yeah.
So I don't think that kind of stuff will be there, but I think it's one of those games where early Oklahoma State's in it, but kind of like we've seen the rest of the season, they just kind of fall back and they just can't get back into it. They can't fight their way back in like they could have in previous years. So unfortunately, I see the Cowboys having another loss at the end of tomorrow.
Well, I predict them to lose Wednesday, and I'm going to probably stand by that prediction.
Yeah.
I think I said 48-38 because the last 2 weeks we've had Robert in here saying, hey, the locker room is fine. The locker room wants to win. Robert wasn't here this week. I didn't get those 2 cents. I didn't get to hear that, so I don't know where the locker room's at. Losing the way they have, especially last week, and the way they lost to Baylor, has got to take a toll on a team who's been fighting storylines, transfers, the Gundy with the media. They've been fighting storylines all year, and they're 5-5. They need that one win to get to a bowl game. But West Virginia is probably not the team you want to face after 2 heartbreaking losses.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. Like, West Virginia is, besides probably OU, the best offense in the Big 12, would you say?
Yeah, I think Oklahoma State's up there, but consistently, I think they're 35th in the country in total offense.
Yeah.
I don't think that their offense is as good as people thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But their defense is also
better than people thought.
The best in the Big 12. So they play a lot more physical than OU and Baylor do.
Right. Do you remember we did a radio show together on Wednesday night after we did the show here? Do you remember the math I told you? West Virginia has how many points West Virginia has scored and given up in their last 3 games since that loss to Iowa State?
You'll have to refresh my memory on that.
They have scored 49 points a game. They have given up 22 points a game, and that is kind of that number is really skewed by the Texas game, where they gave up, I believe, 41. If you just take the other 2 games, they give up 12 points a game. And like you said, they play a physical defense. They're the best defense in the Big 12. And I think that's gonna be a real problem for Oklahoma State.
Yeah, it's going to be a problem being that physical on defense. But we're talking about we don't know where this locker room's at because we haven't heard. But maybe Senior Day, add some stuff in there. But I'm just worried about running out on Senior Day and seeing 50,000 people there. And how many seats does Boone Pickens hold? What, 65?
60 or 65, I think.
So, if you're at 10,000 short and it starts to look a little rough, that's what I'm worried about. And I think there's a real possibility that's going to happen. Students are probably on their way out.
Thanksgiving.
They're skipping class Monday and Tuesday. They're going home this afternoon. So that worries me how many students are just leaving town and aren't even going to be in Stillwater,
let
alone if they go leaving at halftime. But that's the optics that you look at. But we're talking about on the field, I guess, is what truly matters.
Right.
And I think Oklahoma State has a chance. Vegas has now 4.5-point favorite for West Virginia. The line's moved in the Cowboys' favor, but I don't know. I just think that what's happened and where West Virginia is at, and with a senior quarterback and everything that they're dealing with and what's in front of them, I think they're going to be dialed in. And I don't think it'll be a blowout, but I think it'll be call it a 10-point game probably late, and that 10-point will probably be a little skewed by a last-minute touchdown for West Virginia to make it look a little worse than it was. So
I hope you're right, but we talked about it on Wednesday kind of. Oklahoma State has the chance to play the spoil. They can ruin West Virginia's season. Hopefully that also motivates them, along with it being senior day. Justice Hill, I hope he gets to play, and he's probably not going to be 100% after the bruised ribs from last week.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I hope he's good enough to be himself. You know what I mean? I hope he's healthy enough that he can go out there and be the kind of guy that he is, because he can have a huge impact on this game. And I know he wants to. He's the best player on the field for OSU. Now, I'm not going to say he's the best player on the field for the whole game this week, but he's one of the best out there. And you saw it taking him out of that Bedlam game, a game we knew he wanted to play in based on the trash talk he had given. He deserves a chance to win his last game in the stadium. So I'm hoping that they're motivated by both being the spoiler of West Virginia's Big 12 and playoff chances, and it's senior day. So I hope those can push them to a win, but I just don't see it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that hopefully they are motivated by that. But
and if anyone can motivate him, it's Gundy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just worry about those heartbreaking losses. Like, I keep reiterating that, but how much can they take? It seems that they've been taking losses on the chin all season, and they stood with OU and were throwing punches, trading punches, and at the end it just didn't work.
Do you think maybe they come away with that, with the thought, like, we can do this? We're just as good as some of these guys, because they've been into really close games, and the talent gap between those two games has been incredible with Baylor and then OU. But do you think they maybe come away with it, like the thought that we had that, we just haven't figured it out?
I think that they know. And when we talked about that on Monday, the turning point in Bedlam that I certainly thought that Mike Gundy reached by going for it on two, and his post game to sit there and say, hey, we came here, we stood here, we're going to play. I think that they know that. It's just to what cost they're willing to, how far they're willing to go with that thought. But I think that they know that, and we all know it, that they can play with just about anyone. It's just whether or not they can
get up for
60 minutes.
Yeah.
So hopefully the Cowboys win. It is senior day. So if you will be in Stillwater, make sure
Please
to get out there. And I would like to see a full student section there. But
and if you don't have class on Monday or Tuesday and you want to get home, if you live in this state, go to the game. We had a friend, Jason Cliccio, who's been on the show before. He lives in New York. He had to go home today to make it to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
If that's not your circumstances, if you live in like Shawnee, Clinton, Weatherford, anywhere, Catoosa, shout out to Riley, Tulsa, stay here. Go to the game on Saturday. Enjoy it. Because if you're a senior, it's your last game as a student too. Don't forget that. It's these guys' last game as seniors to play in that stadium. It's supposed to be a special time for you, them, everyone. So just go to the game.
Not to mention, you've already paid for it.
Right.
You have paid for a student pass. I love that rant. I love it.
You had one a couple weeks ago. That was mine.
I love it. Not attack the student section, but a lot of these, our student section likes to build up this great atmosphere, and a lot of times that's just not the case. So the student section needs to get better. I love that rant, Logan.
I'm glad you liked that.
But there will not be a major student section this weekend, and that's probably Yankee Stadium, where number 3 Notre Dame and number 12 Syracuse are playing a pivotal matchup of top teams, an ACC team in Syracuse and Notre Dame, an independent. But Notre Dame's fighting for that playoff spot.
Oh, yeah.
They're right there, that big win over Michigan. Outside of that, a win over Northwestern, but their resume is good, not great.
Yeah.
But this will help Notre Dame build it, and certainly if Syracuse wins, it will add a ton to Syracuse's resume. Syracuse isn't making the playoff by any means, but it'll help some national discussions. Where do you see this game going? Not down third base line for a touchdown, but who do you have in this game?
Man, I hate to pick the higher ranked team, but I have to pick Notre Dame because they're undefeated. They beat my Wolverines, and at the beginning of the year you were kind of down on them. I think you've kind of realize that they're a really good team. Are they a playoff team for sure? We'll have to see. They still have to beat Urban Meyer and Ohio State, but this Notre Dame team beat that Michigan team, and I know that Michigan team's not playing as well at the beginning of the year as they are now.
Okay, that was my question. Who wins that game now?
I think Michigan wins it now.
I do too.
But we can't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just have to look at the resume, and it's turned into a really great win. It was probably just going to be a good win if Michigan just had a subpar normal season. But Michigan's turned out to be really great, and that wins on Notre Dame's schedule. So I got to pick Notre Dame.
You're going to take Notre Dame over Syracuse. I'm going to take Syracuse.
I like it.
I always have these hot takes every Friday, and I find my
Are you still picking, who is it? Who are you picking to lose every week?
UCF.
No, there's someone else that you always pick to lose. And
the Chiefs?
No, it's another college team. I'll find it.
Kentucky?
No.
There's a lot that I always
I know,
pick to
but there's
lose.
one that's always the favorite. I'll find him. Real
Anyway, Syracuse
Washington State.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for that Washington State collapse.
Yeah.
At Arizona this week. We'll get to that, Logan. We'll see where we're going here with that game. But Syracuse and Notre Dame has a really great roster, as they always do. But that 2013 National Championship game will live in my mind forever. Because Notre Dame fans and Manti Te'o and his Facebook girlfriend were just,
you had to go there.
We're going to win. You know, this is Notre Dame. We have the history. We have that. We're going to show up. And I remember they got into a little, the players brushed up against each other and the tunnel running down. It's like, oh, man, they're heated. And then Alabama went on to embarrass them for 4 quarters. And it wasn't even close. I mean, it looked like a Mighty Might team playing the pros. And that's just what I think of Notre Dame now.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not a fair assessment of the Fighting Irish now. But Syracuse obviously isn't Alabama. But I'm going to take Syracuse. Notre Dame's defense has been slipping for a few weeks now. Now, Vegas obviously doesn't agree with me.
Yeah.
Notre Dame's a 10.5-point favorite. But I'm going to go with Syracuse to pull the upset, put some points up on the board early, and Notre Dame's not going to be able to fight their way back.
And I know that graphic says I also pick Syracuse to win. I have changed my mind. I am a changed man from yesterday when I made that graphic. I'm going Notre Dame.
The graphic says otherwise.
The graphic lied.
I will let you change your mind. Duke at number 2, Clemson. This may turn ugly, and it may turn ugly
This would be a great basketball game. Not a great
Not
football
for
game.
Clemson. Clemson is a 28-point favorite at home, a night game in Death Valley.
Yeah.
I don't know how much time we can spend on this one because I am pretty convinced that Clemson is not worried about Duke University, the football team.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Maybe if they put Zion out there. What do you think if they put Zion out there at running back or tight end or something like that?
It came out this week that Zion had fielded a football offer from an LSU assistant who's no longer at LSU, but he did offer Zion a football scholarship.
I showed you something the other day. It was a tweet. It was his highlights. I can't remember what game it was. Maybe it was the Army game they played, but it was like, man, Zion Williamson's going to tear it up at the NFL Combine. That guy's just one of those athletes, and we could probably do a whole segment about him towards March or around that time. But yeah, like you said, there's not a lot to talk about with the football game. Clemson's going to take care of business.
Yeah, Clemson's far and away the superior team to Duke. So there's just not a ton of great games here in college football this weekend.
You're not excited about Alabama versus the Citadel? I mean, read the Citadel.
Yeah, the Citadel. I mean, LSU. The entire SEC.
Yeah, they took the week off.
It's the Citadel, Idaho, UMass, Rice, Eastern Tennessee, whoever Kentucky's playing.
Yeah.
Middle Tennessee. I mean, there's just nothing in the SEC this weekend.
Yeah, but why does people have kind of started to talk about it more now, but why does everyone think the SEC is just jam-packed with the toughest games every week? But then we see stuff like this every year, and more people have started to talk about it. But like you said, the Citadel, Idaho, Middle Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi State, that's a good game. Missouri, Tennessee.
Is it though?
I mean,
Arkansas is that team
right.
That's the Citadel. That's who Mississippi State scheduled for their off week in the SEC is Arkansas. That's how bad Arkansas is.
But I mean, Missouri.
Who's Mizzou playing this week?
Tennessee.
So same thing.
Yeah, I mean, Liberty plays Auburn. UAB. Is their mascot's a dragon? They're the UAB Blazers.
Yeah.
That's awesome. They're my new favorite team, by the way. Just found that
who
out.
are they playing this weekend?
Who are they playing? I just saw it. Let me go back.
See, UAB didn't have a
Texas
football.
A&M.
Texas A&M. UAB doesn't have a shot.
No.
But credit to the Blazers, because 2 years ago they didn't have a football program.
Oh, yeah?
They decided to disband it. They didn't have enough money, and then the players congregated. People donated some money. They got it up and going again, which was a huge uphill battle, which they won. And now they've clinched their division, their conference, and will be playing in the conference championship game.
Good for them, yeah.
Improve the facilities, have a coach that really cares about the players in the program. So they've come a long way from where they were a couple years ago.
Yeah, that's awesome. They're my new favorite team now. I just realized anyone with a dragon, it's automatically my favorite team. It's not hard to win me over. Some other SEC games that you might find entertaining, Reed. Chattanooga, South Carolina, you gonna tune into that? 6:30 on the SEC network.
I'm never confident in Will Muschamp, so and this is the way Will Muschamp goes with those games. It'll be a 17-14 game,
right, and
go down to the very end. That's the way it is. But the game of the week, I guess, College Game Day's heading down to Orlando. Might go to Disney World or enjoy Central Florida. But number 11 UCF is hosting number 24 Cincinnati. Cincinnati's 9-1. UCF is 9-0. You heard me have an argument yesterday about Central Florida. I'm not convinced, and I never will be. I'm just not. I don't know that Cincinnati beats UCF, but I don't think UCF's going anywhere outside the Chick-fil-A Bowl or whatever it was they went to last year. Well, where do you see Cincinnati at compared to UCF? Probably UCF's probably got a little bit more talented roster recruiting from Florida.
Yeah.
But Cincinnati's 9-1.
Right. They're a good football team. I think UCF, like you said, has just a better talent pool to play with, and I mean they're on a roll. They're one of the hot teams in college football because I mean, you may not like it, but they are. What are they in the past 2 years?
They have the longest winning streak.
They have the longest winning streak in the country. I want to ask you this. Is there any chance they could ever survive in any Power 5 conference?
No.
You don't think they deserve a shot at it?
No.
Okay.
I don't. Listen, does Cincinnati's had a lot more success in basketball.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you think UCF football makes a lot of money, March Madness makes more money than anything.
Yeah.
And Cincinnati's been there in basketball.
Right.
So I'm taking Cincinnati as I always do
to
win this game. So we will see that game. We'll obviously be able to talk about that Monday. If we have some more time later in the show, we'll get back into these college football games, especially in the Big 12. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back on 101 OSU Student Radio KXUI Sunlink Channel 112.
One-on-One is brought to you by Tinker Federal Credit Union. Visit Facebook.com/TinkerFCU. While you're there for your family, we're there for you. Tinker Federal Credit Union. And OSU Communications. Not sure where to park? OSU Communications has got you covered with parking tips and bus schedule information. We'll be right back.
Selecting a major can be difficult.
It's okay to be undecided.
Connect with the College of Arts and Sciences, where your options are endless.
Where you can uncover your passions and achieve your goals.
Express your creativity by exploring a career in the visual and performing arts.
Investigate new discoveries to make the world a better place with a career in science.
Advance knowledge, communicate progress, and contribute to a healthier planet with a career rooted in the social sciences.
Discover your career by looking at the world from different perspectives through the humanities.
Realize a better tomorrow through problem solving and mining data that can change lives.
CAS prepares you to succeed through internships, study abroad, student-guided research projects, and service activities.
With 109 majors, 52 minors, and 24 departments, the only thing missing is you. College of Arts and Sciences.
Connect.
Achieve. Succeed.
When you have a team of physicians and nurses that really truly care about their patients, that translates into patient care.
It's a small practice, it's a small town. Everybody really takes that time to put the patient first.
Everybody cares what's happening to me and that I'm making progress and I'm gaining my freedom back and my mobility back. This patient is saying thank you.
This spring, I invite you to shop in downtown Stillwater. Downtown Stillwater is home to locally owned shops, boutiques, eateries, and dependable professionals that you can trust. Find the perfect gift for your graduate, have a delicious meal with mom, or just stop in to enjoy great spring savings. By creating a demand for local goods and services, you can ensure a place for the local businesses that help give our community character and keep it unique. On behalf of Downtown Stillwater, thank you for shopping local.
Lewis, student radio KXUI Sunlink Channel 112, live from Studio 318 here on the beautiful campus of Oklahoma State University. Logan, the snow has melted, but Thanksgiving is just around the corner. We're going to get into some NFL football here. Some interesting storylines from around the league. We thought Le'Veon Bell stuff had been stolen. It was apparently just a joke.
Okay.
Just a joke. They did ship it out and sent it to Le'Veon Bell. But there are some interesting games around the league. But everything, especially around here, what we pay attention to is fantasy football.
Right.
And there are some fantasy football guys that we want to start and sit this week. So we'll go ahead and get into who you want to start at quarterback.
Okay. First of all, Patrick Mahomes, your guy, is an automatic start every week. You got to start this guy. They play the Rams in L.A. this week. They got moved from Mexico City to Los Angeles. You got to start Jared Goff. And then Drew Brees, probably an MVP candidate, number 2 behind Patrick Mahomes. He might overthrow Patrick Mahomes at some point. That's who I'm starting at quarterback. And then just going straight into my running backs, Todd Gurley, beast. He started out in the MVP conversation, but I don't think people respect the running back position enough to give him that. I think he deserves it, but anyway, start him. And then Saquon Barkley. Reed, how do you have so many of these guys on my list on your fantasy team this year? But Saquon Barkley, he was what everyone thought he was going to be coming out of the draft. One of the best running backs, young running backs in the league. It's probably him, Zeke, Todd Gurley. Those are easily the best running backs, the young running backs, that is. Then wide receivers, another one of your guys, Tyreek Hill. He's the fastest man in the league. I mean, fastest ever, maybe.
Well, John Ross will make an argument, but he doesn't play, so it's default to Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. So, Tyreek Hill, and then DeAndre Hopkins, another one of the best receivers in the league. If he had just had Deshaun Watson for half of his career even, he'd probably be considered the best receiver in the league, I think. Julio Jones benefited from Matt Ryan. Odell Beckham Jr. at one point maybe benefited from Eli Manning. Not anymore, though. Antonio Brown benefits from Ben Roethlisberger. DeAndre Hopkins was doing all that with Brock Osweiler, Matt Castle, those
Rocky
guys.
Mountain High.
Yeah. And then rounding out with my tight ends, Austin Hooper, Eric Ebron. Eric Ebron has just jumped out as one of the best rookie tight ends we've seen in a long time. So that's who I'm starting this week, Reed.
All right, well, I'll get into who I want to start this week. Obviously, Drew Brees taking on Philadelphia. This Philadelphia secondary is banged up. They're on a major Super Bowl hangover. 28.9 points last week, projected 19.8 this week. I think he sticks around that 30 threshold that he typically does, especially against this down-and-out Philadelphia defense. And Cam Newton against Jacksonville, Detroit. That's Detroit is Detroit.
Right.
Matt Patricia is a good coach, and they will get there eventually, but it's just not taking place right now.
Yeah.
Cam Newton had 36 points last week, projected 18.6. You really think Cam Newton's going to have 18 fantasy points against Detroit?
He's going to have a lot more.
Add about 10 to that, and you'll be right there. So start Drew Brees and Cam Newton for your quarterbacks. Start Deion Lewis. Indianapolis is a lot better than they have been in the past. They're getting there with Chris Ballard. They are slowly improving. A healthy Andrew Luck, a good offensive line. Defense, still bad. Deion Lewis.
Has it ever been good?
No.
Yeah.
But 6.8 points last week, projected 11.1 this week. I think he's going to slowly get there. I think they run him all over Indianapolis. And Todd Gurley against my Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah. The Chiefs' run defense is atrocious. It is not very good. And so I'm going to take Todd Gurley there. 22 last week, projected 21.5. That's still a good number for your running backs to start Todd Gurley. And at wide receiver, some interesting ones here. Robert Woods as well against Kansas City. Because
he's going to benefit from Cooper Kupp tearing his ACL.
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
11 points last week, projected 12 this week. I think everyone's going to have a lot of fantasy points in this Kansas City-Los Angeles game. There's going to be no defense there. And Larry Fitzgerald, he has not had a good year. 5 points last week, but he found some ways to get around that Chiefs defense, like not very hard to do. Projected 8, but he's playing Oakland. Josh Rosen, if they can protect him, Oakland has no pass rush.
Right.
So if Rosen can get him the ball.
How could they get a pass rush, Reed?
Well, I mean, a guy named Khalil Mack comes to mind, but so it's a little too hard to keep him around.
I heard he didn't want to play there, though.
So. Well, it's hard to sign a guy when your owner can't afford him. So at tight end, I have Austin Hooper taking on Dallas. This is a weird game.
Yeah.
Two teams that have shown some flashes this season but haven't been great. 12 points last week, 6.6 projected this week. He's been pretty consistent, around 10. That's not great, but it's all right for your tight end.
Yeah.
So start Austin Hooper. And Vance McDonald against Jacksonville. 4.8 last week, 10.4. Pittsburgh's going to blow Jacksonville out. Rematch of that AFC division game. Pittsburgh is mad. They are infuriated, and they are going to put this Le'Veon Bell stuff behind him. Vance McDonald has a big game against Jacksonville. So start Vance McDonald. Who do you want to sit this week?
Big Ben. I know you just talked about it, but do you remember what he did against Jacksonville last year?
Have you seen Jacksonville this year?
I'm just going off history.
Well, history will tell you that Jacksonville has flashes, but that's it for the entire franchise.
I'm counting on another flash on Saturday. Big Ben, not going to throw. What did he throw last year? What was it? 4 or 5 picks, something like that.
Great.
It was bad. I played the guy last year who had Big Ben, and he played him and sat the defense. It was hilarious. And then Alex Smith, he really misses Andy Reid. I mean, the check down artist that he is, it's hard for him when he's not throwing to Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, or Kareem Hunt. It's hard for him to make big plays. So, and unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, that Washington defense or offense basically runs through Adrian Peterson at this point. Alex Smith doesn't do a lot. So sit Alex Smith. You want to go into your quarterbacks, or you want me to continue?
Yeah, I want to sit Alex Smith as well. Alex Smith against that.
Does that hurt you to say?
I mean, Alex is what Alex is. I don't think he got enough respect in Kansas City. He's doing some all right things for Washington. He's not great, but that Houston front is violent, and that is a scary team to play. 12.7 last week, 14.8 this week. I don't see him having a good game at all. Probably turn the ball over. And Derek Carr, why? And honestly, if you still have Derek Carr, you should probably get rid of him, or you've given up.
Yeah.
Because Derek Carr is awful. But if you are in this decision where you are thinking about starting or sitting him, start anyone else. Anyone. Because Derek Carr is awful. He's had 7.9 last week.
Yeah.
Arizona's still a good defense.
It's unfortunate. He was actually a decent quarterback last year and the year before when he had that MVP kind of season.
Well, John Gruden said Nathan Peterman was his favorite guy in the draft 2 years ago. So,
that
talent
guy's
evaluation.
not even on a team anymore.
Yeah, could be.
I hope.
He's out there.
He is.
Oakland might add him. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so sit Alex Smith.
I didn't think they could get worse.
Oh, it could absolutely. I hope it does. Alex Smith and Derek Carr, sit those guys at quarterback. And I want to set Wendell Smallwood against New Orleans. New Orleans is not a great defense, 27th in fantasy position rank. But I want to sit him and sit Carlos Hyde against Pittsburgh as well.
All right, I'm just going to go through the rest of my guys really quick. Sit Latavius Murray, sit Joe Mixon, sit Mike Evans, sit Calvin Ridley. His run is over. Kyle Rudolph, I thought was going to have a great year. That's just not the case. Sit him, and then sit Jared Cook.
So I want to sit Demaryius Thomas and Allen Robinson against the Redskins, and then Allen Robinson against Minnesota. A big game for Allen Robinson last week, 25.3, but a better Vikings defense they're playing this week, 8.6 projected with Khalil Mack and stuff. It may be an interesting game there.
Yeah.
But Allen Robinson, Minnesota's a good defense. It's going to be cold, so an interesting name there. I don't think he has a good game, nor does Trubisky. Jordan Reed against Houston, same reason Alex Smith.
Yeah.
Houston is on their way up. They're playing very physical. They're a scary team to match up with right now. So set him and Kyle Rudolph, much for the same reason in Chicago. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah.
And an interesting one there. 8.2 projected points for Kyle Rudolph. So set Kyle Rudolph there.
All right.
So that is your fantasy points. Are we gonna take a quick break?
We are.
We are gonna take a quick break. Got to figure things out around here. We'll be right back on 101 OSU Student Radio KXY Sunlink Channel 112.
One-on-One is brought to you by Oklahoma Christian University. Get your master's degree in accounting, business administration, theology, engineering, computer science, or cybersecurity from Oklahoma Christian University. Apply at oc.edu/grad. Oklahoma University is committed to offering the best graduate school experience we possibly can. Come learn and grow with us. And The Table. Stop by The Table on Thursdays at 8 p.m. to join their Bible study. Shoot Rachel an email at rachel@thetableosu.com for more information. We'll be right back.
In my mind, I was never going to walk right again. Before we were through, we had walked 23 steps. And that was my first steps of freedom. This patient is saying thank you.
Welcome back to One on OSU Student Radio, KCY, Suddenlink Channel 112, live from Studio 318. Aaron Rodgers.
He's a bad man, Reed.
He's a bad man who can't win on the road and find a competent coach, but he is such a bad man.
That's not his fault he can't find a coach.
He's 3-4 against Russell Wilson. How bad is he? I mean,
is that including when they were the Legion of Boom, though?
All right. Time to get this argument out there. I think Aaron Rodgers, you looked at the plays he made last week.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. But if he hadn't won that one Super Bowl in 2010, where would we be at on the GOAT argument? Because everyone's convinced.
He wouldn't be in the GOAT argument.
Exactly. He is probably the best physical talent.
Yeah, that's where the argument would be.
That we've seen.
He's the best talent, and it's the argument anyway. They're wasting him.
I don't feel that sorry for Aaron Rodgers, because quite frankly, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is that nice of a guy.
I agree.
And he's very wealthy, but that's not grounds to not feel sorry for someone in their profession. I think he's being screwed over, to be quite honest with you. The Green Bay Packers are clueless. I mean, why are they keeping on Mike McCarthy? Why are they trading HaHa Clinton Dix? Why are they getting talent out of there and bringing none in?
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy said he's focused on this season. He needs to be focused on going to Mexico next season and hanging out on the beach or South Florida or something, because Mike McCarthy's not going to have a job.
He better not.
Or is he?
I hate to say he better not. He should not be the head coach of the Packers next season. The time is up. The time for Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy is over.
It's been over for 3 years.
Right. It just hasn't worked out. And like you said, if he hadn't won that one Super Bowl, he's not in the GOAT argument at all. And the 4 extra Super Bowls Tom Brady has should eliminate Rodgers anyway.
Yeah.
It's a fun discussion, but like you say, he's the best physical talent at the position probably ever. Except maybe your guy Patrick Mahomes, Reed. I'll give you that. But
I think Patrick Mahomes might have more talent than Aaron Rodgers.
What do you think Aaron Rodgers has? Not if he has Belichick, just if he has
a competent coach.
Yeah.
And Andy Reid.
Yeah. What if he has Andy Reid?
Probably 2 or 3 Super Bowls.
That's what I hate to say that's what he deserves, because no one in sports deserves anything. You earn everything in sports. I think that's why everyone loves it so much.
He has struggled with injuries.
Yeah. And that's because of his style of play. And that might also be because what are they surrounding him with? Outside of Devontae Adams and Jordy Nelson, who they let go, he hasn't had a running game for most of his career in Green Bay.
Yeah, I mean...
The defense has not been there.
And this is not a shot. The best back they've had is an overweight Eddie Lacy.
Yeah.
And they had to get him to lose weight.
Right. They do have Aaron Jones now, who's had a good couple weeks. Not saying he's going to be good for a long time, but...
I mean, if you have the greatest physically gifted quarterback in probably we've ever seen in football, you should be able to go beat a 4-4 or
Seahawks
a 4-5 Seahawks team.
Yeah.
You should be able to beat the Bears. You should be able to beat the Vikings, the Lions.
Yeah. I mean, the Packers are 0-5 on the road this year. I don't know if it's something that happens when they leave Lambeau or what it is, but something's got to change. And I think you and I both agree it's the head coach.
Yeah, I mean, losses to, obviously the Patriots and the Rams are understandable.
Yeah.
But the Lions and the Redskins, if you have Aaron Rodgers, you should be able to beat those teams.
Yeah.
You just should absolutely be able to beat those teams. But there's a lot of other games going on, especially the game that I want to talk about, but we'll save that for the end. So we have a couple games here that we're going to get into, and it's the Panthers at the Lions. I know you just saw me disrespect the Lions, but this is still a game of interest. Carolina's -4.5 going into Detroit. coming off not a bye week, but a longer week, as they played last Thursday and just got smoked by Pittsburgh. It got ugly and ugly quick. I'm taking the Panthers.
I am too. I mean, they're the better football team in general, but let me ask you this, Reed. The Lions play on Sunday, obviously, but then they play
again on Thursday. Thanksgiving, yeah.
Are they more focused on this game or on the Thanksgiving game? Because that's, like, let's face it, that's the Lions and the Cowboys Super Bowl now, is Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Shots at the at the NFC fans there. Yeah, I think the professional athletes, I don't think they look ahead like that, honestly. I think their games are focused on Detroit or on Carolina, and as soon as that game's over, then they'll flip the script and go right into Thursday. I don't think they're necessarily looking forward to it, but maybe they are. Who knows? But I don't really think it matters. When I think about this game, the next game 2 games ago, I think the Panthers can easily take care of the 3-6 Lions.
I'm really happy the Panthers figured out how to use Christian McCaffrey.
I am too.
Because that guy is fun to watch.
I'm really happy they figured out how to use him. You know why?
Because he's on your fantasy
points, and he has won me some games.
Man, that was a great trade.
That was. I've made so many good trades in this league. Titans at the Colts. Two teams. The Titans obviously won a playoff game last year, then fired their coach, hired Mike Vrabel, beat the Patriots last week. Still a 500 football team, 5-4, just over 500. But playing a 4-5 Colts team who was absolutely awful for the last 3 years. But they're starting to figure things out, especially offensively. There's some questions on the defensive side of the ball, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Colts.
I am too.
Go ahead. Okay, I'll go ahead.
Okay.
I think that the Colts are going to catch the Titans on an off week because they were so emotional with that Patriots game.
Yeah.
They were talking crap after the game. They were running trick plays. I think the Colts and Andrew Luck catch the Titans.
Yeah.
And that's where they will learn why the Patriots are the Patriots.
Yeah, you think they're going to come out
flat.
Pretty flat.
Very flat.
I could see that. And I think this Colts team is just better. Am I wrong to say that they're just better than the Titans?
They have a better quarterback than the Titans.
Well, yeah. And I like the offense more in general for the Colts.
Yeah, with T.Y. Hilton, they can probably spread it out a little bit more than Mariota.
And like I said earlier, Eric Ebron's come on the scene as a good, not just a fantasy tight end, just a good tight end. I think last week he had 3 catches, 69 yards, and 2 touchdowns or something like that. I mean, that's insane.
So the Texans at the Redskins. This is an interesting game. We talked about check down Alex.
Yep.
Going to struggle against this front of that Texans defense. They started out 0-3. They've won 6 straight.
Yeah.
Big time for the Texans. Bill O'Brien finally have a quarterback. Deshaun Watson, who's healthy. J.J. Watt so far has stayed healthy, knock on wood, for the Texans fans. But I'm going to take the Texans.
I am too. You keep mentioning that defense in front, and that's really important because I think that's what's going to be the determining factor in this game is keeping Adrian Peterson to under, I don't know, would you say under 80 yards would be a good day, a really good day at this point?
Yeah.
It's weird that I'm talking about Adrian Peterson like that.
I'm waiting for Adrian Peterson to have his collapse.
Yeah.
Because of his age, and at some point he's just going to he's going to have given too much.
So he's given a lot this year.
Yeah, I think we're looking eerily close to when that game comes, and it might be this one. Might be so we're both taking the Texans.
Yes.
Texans big, close,
big.
I think a probably 10, 13-point game for the Texans in that one.
I think the Texans are going to have a really easy time scoring.
Well, luckily they're playing in Washington where apparently there's no fans and Josh Norman calls out his own team. I mean,
oh my gosh.
It makes no sense.
How much longer is Josh Norman on this team?
Well, his contract, 2 or 3 more years on his contract?
But do you think they try to move?
No, I think they'll keep him. He's playing well. They're paying him way too much.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what happens with corners. And I mean, it's not like the Redskins are not known for signing older, and he's not that old. He really hasn't been in the league that long.
Yeah.
But paying defensive guys, Albert Hainsworth Barrett's clutching his fist in the audio booth right now because I'm mentioning Albert Hainsworth, a guy they gave basically a stadium to, and he didn't play at all.
Yeah.
And Josh Norman's played well, but not what he's worth. So that's typical Redskins free agency right there. But I will take the Texans big in Washington. Okay. The Broncos at the Chargers.
Yeah.
Your team.
My team.
You want them to lose, though.
I do.
You're all in on this tanking stuff.
It works in the NBA. This is the process for the Broncos. It's going to work. It's much easier to get better picks in the NFL, too.
Well,
you just have to be bad.
I don't know why. you're finding your picks in the middle of first round, Paxton Lynch, or you could get Mr. Irrelevant, Chad Kelly. Those worked out great.
Hey, Chad Kelly would have worked out if he hadn't made some terrible life decisions. I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah, I think it's fair to call that a terrible life decision.
Oh, yeah.
To
I just don't think he really would have worked out.
Under the influence and break into somebody's house and get beat up with a vacuum cleaner is not the storyline you want on the Denver Post when you may start a game.
Right.
So, not a good look for a Chad Kelly.
But I will say they're projected to pick 10th right now. That's too. It's
not great. That's a waste of a season.
It is. They gotta start losing more, and other people have to start winning some.
Yeah. So. Herbert's not going to be there.
I know. I'm worried.
I am not. Vikings at the Bears. Minnesota going into Soldier Field. It's the night game, 7:20. It's going to be cold. NFC North rivalry game.
Yep.
Both teams. Obviously, Minnesota has that tie on their record, but fighting for the NFC North here. Khalil Mack will play. Interesting enough, some quarterbacks, an $84 million man in Kirk Cousins might be being outplayed by a cheap Mitch Trubisky, obviously still on that rookie deal. I think the Bears are going to take care of the Vikings on Soldier Field.
I do too. I think the Bears have this locked up. Khalil Mack, Defensive Player of the Year, right?
Yes.
As of right now.
Very much so.
And like you said, Mitchell Trubisky's playing way beyond what his contract is. He has had a great season so far, kind of shut the haters up, for lack of a better phrase. That's not even a good phrase, but he's shown out this year. Everyone thought he was a bust, and he was number 2. You could argue he still shouldn't have been number 2 because Patrick Mahomes was in that
Trubisky. Listen, I heard I read a tweet from a Bears fan, of course, well, Patrick Mahomes is all system.
No.
Oh my God. What? Mitch Trubisky is playing in the system.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Andy Reid's system that Matt Nagy is taking hold of.
Yeah.
Mitch Trubisky, you put Patrick Mahomes anywhere. I saw Scott Van Pelt said last night when Aaron Rodgers threw 62 yards in the air on a receiver that had no separation. He's like, he's the only guy in the league that can make that throw. No, he's not.
Yeah.
Because there's a guy who oddly likes ketchup that we found out yesterday.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes. He's younger, he's inexperienced, he's raw, and he's got the benefit of playing with Andy Reid. But if you're looking at talent evaluation and what they're able to do, the throws they can make, and the adjustments in the middle of a play, Mitch Trubisky is about right here, and Patrick Mahomes is way up here.
Yeah.
The argument cannot be made.
I agree. So you could say he's not a bust, but he's definitely picked way too high.
Yeah, he's picked way too high.
Since your guy was there. But he's played really well in a system, like you just said.
In a system, yes.
But I like the Bears defense, and Mitchell Trubisky's playing good football, so I'm going to take the Bears.
Yeah, I think you could go out and get a strip sack on Kirk Cousins, and they're playing Khalil Mack. I'll take Khalil Mack to be a headache for Kirk Cousins, both taking the Bears in Soldier Field Sunday night. Now to the game that was moved from Mexico City all the way to L.A., Southern California and Northern California are both struggling with wildfire, so we are thinking of the people in California. But the air quality may be of question in L.A., but the game to play on a good surface was moved to Los Angeles as the Stadium Azteca or whatever it's called in Mexico City was just a disaster. Yeah. So the game's moved to L.A., Chiefs at Rams. You know who I always pick when we're picking the Chiefs. I pick against the Chiefs because it works in my favor typically.
And I pick for the Chiefs because I like you, Reed. I'm picking the Chiefs.
Why?
I just believe in them. I think they can outscore them. I really think they can outscore the Rams. Without Cooper Kupp, that hurts their offense. It doesn't shut down their offense, obviously, but I think that just pushes Kansas City above them. And it's going to be a shootout no matter what. Both these defenses are not good, to put it nicely. And I just feel like the Chiefs are going to score more points.
I do not agree with that statement. I think that the Chiefs cannot outscore the Rams. I think that as bad as the Rams defense has been this season and the questions that have come up with Marcus Peters and Aqib Talib and the guys up front, the Chiefs defense is worse. A lot worse. And I think Todd Gurley and the Chiefs.
You got Kareem Hunt. They don't cancel out, but
I don't see the Chiefs being able to stop the Rams offense. I see the Rams being able to maybe force a turnover or two out of Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
Marcus Peters, we'll see how emotional he plays, see how he bounces back from having a rough couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But man, and this is not to go with. Sure, I'm picking the Rams because of what we always do.
Yeah.
But I really do think that seeing what I've seen of this Chiefs defense, I'm gonna have to take the Rams.
Yeah.
Not big, but probably by a touchdown or a field goal.
Okay. That's kind of the same thing I have, but opposite for the Chiefs. So there you go.
Well, we will see on Monday Night Football. I guess we will be able to talk about this game a little bit more on Monday, but we're going to take a quick break, come back, and get into all these storylines in the association, Logan's favorite topic to discuss. We'll be right back on 101 OSU Student Radio, KXUY, Sunlink, Channel 112.
1-on-1 is brought to you by Oklahoma Air National Guard. Contact Oklahoma Air National Guard at 800-GO-TO-ANG. Visit their website at goang.com/OK for more information about how to get 100% college tuition. And Unitarian Universalist Church. If you're looking for a church home, visit Unitarian Universalist Church of Stillwater, located at 320 South Stoughton Street. They offer an alternative spiritual path and welcome all races, religions, and beliefs. They're also LGBTQ friendly. Services every Sunday at 10:30. We'll be right back.
Stillwater Medical Center now offers a convenient way to view your health information online. It's secure, easy, and free. Our hospital and clinic patient portals allow you to view results and reports, medications and allergies, track visit histories, view upcoming appointment information, and see your statements. To enroll, go to stillwatermedical.com and click on the patient portal link near the top right of the page. If you have questions, please feel free to call 405-533-6010.
Welcome back into 101 on OSU Student Radio KXUY, Sunlink, Channel 112, live from Studio 318 here on the beautiful campus of Oklahoma State University. It is almost turkey time, Logan, but we have one more show to get through Monday before you bail out and head back home to Clinton. I'm staying here because
you love Stillwater.
Love Stillwater. I have some stuff that I have to do to stick around, so maybe I'll make some turkey. I might just sleep all day. Who knows?
It's not a bad way to spend the day.
Not a bad day. Probably what all of us are going to be doing in theory, but some basketball news to get into in the NBA. Thunder fans are sitting here applauding Draymond Green.
Yeah.
Because the other night, it was tied 106-106. The Warriors got a rebound. Draymond Green, you could say, stole it from Kevin Durant, went up the floor, turned it over. They got into a fight, not a
verbal altercation.
A verbal altercation, thank you. And, they went on to lose in overtime. It went into the locker room, apparently got pretty bad. They suspended Draymond Green without pay for a game. Kevin Durant, after the loss to the Rockets yesterday, a bad loss, 107-86 loss to the Houston Rockets, said, don't ask me about that question, I'm going to ask about it. Well, Kevin, I'm going to ask you about it for the next 60 games because you have an impending free agency coming up.
Yeah.
And apparently that's what was referred to by Draymond Green. He called him an expletive, several different expletives, and basically, in a roundabout way, said, we don't need you, we've won without you. Accurate.
Not wrong.
But I want to be real honest with you. Like we said, that Mitch Trubisky, Patrick Mahomes comparison, Kevin Durant, probably the best pure scorer this game has ever seen.
Yep.
I get Kevin Durant is kind of weak at times. He doesn't stick up for himself. He doesn't say the right things. Question if he's mentally tough. One of the best scorers of all time, if not the best scorer.
Yes.
He's a 7-foot guard. He's been the best player for this Warriors team for the last 2 years, especially in the finals. He hit a dagger over the greatest player of all time to clinch the finals.
Twice.
So I get it, Draymond. You won 73 games and a title without him. But he is a big part of why you've been able to win back-to-back. I think Kevin Durant's gone.
I think you're right. I think I think Draymond thinks you're right too. I think that's why he went on that rant and mentioned his free agency, called him those expletives that you mentioned. But this team, as it's currently constructed, doesn't win without Kevin Durant.
Yes.
I mean, back before they had Kevin Durant, their motto was always strength in numbers. Now it's strength in all-stars. Now it's strength in all-NBA guys because they've got 4 of those.
Yes.
And after that, I mean, they have DeMarcus Cousins now. But last year, Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston are the only other guys kind of left from that era of win with strength in numbers. It's just a different kind of team now. If Kevin Durant leaves and they don't get a bunch of guys like they had before that are willing to play a role and are great bench guys, they're not suddenly this unstoppable juggernaut anymore. They can get back to that, but in the immediate future, that's not how that works. And the organization was in their right to suspend him if they're trying to keep Kevin Durant, which I think they should.
Absolutely trying to,
Because, I mean, if you keep Kevin Durant, you can win 5, 6.
Right.
I don't know how many titles in a row because you're just flat out the best team. And these guys are all super young. Steph Curry's 30. Durant is, I think, 30 as well. And maybe he's still 30. Your 2 best players are 30. They're still in their prime. And we saw before Steph Curry got injured, he was on a monster tear. He was about to destroy every record he set during his unanimous MVP season. He was just going to blow the league out of the water. And he could whenever he comes back. I think he's out another 10 days. But I think this little spat between those two shows how important that guy is, number 30, Steph Curry. He is the most important. Kevin Durant's the best player. Steph Curry's the most important player. This is still Steph's team. It works best when Steph's out there. I think once he gets back on there, obviously they're going to mesh together. They're going to work together. They're professionals. They're not going to let this one incident ruin their entire season. They'll still probably win the title too. But
I don't know.
Who's going to beat him?
But my point is, I would say Boston, but they're not showing any signs of being able to. I get it's 14 games in.
Yeah.
They are struggling. Houston's getting their footing back.
Yeah.
They are getting better. They took them to the brink last year. My thing is, you're right. No one in reality can beat Golden State. If Golden State's at their best, even close to their best, they're not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close. But Kevin Durant, and I'm trying to find a way to not make it offensive, he's a baby.
Yeah.
He's not a guy.
He's not an alpha.
That when Draymond says, hey, we win without you, say, listen, Draymond, you're nothing. You're 6'7", you're a great defender, but everyone knows, basketball people know I'm a much better player than you. And I don't get technical fouls, but I'm the guy. No, Kevin Durant sits down and says, you just hurt my feelings. That's what you see with Kevin Durant. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But if you would just sit down and say, listen, Draymond, shut up. No one's listening to you. The only person listening and defending you are you and your mom on Twitter. Because that's what it is.
Yeah.
No one else defends Draymond Green.
You're right.
And so if Durant would just fire back at him, but I don't think that's who Kevin Durant is. And what I just said, I don't want people, that's mean towards Kevin Durant. No, that's who Kevin Durant is. But I feel like Kevin could fix this really quick if he was that alpha in the locker room and say, hey, man, we're not doing this.
But at the same time, you have to wonder why Draymond Green's upset that he hasn't said anything about free agency and he's keeping his options open, because that's how he got there.
Yeah, when they were
that's how he got there.
In 2016, when they were playing the Thunder and they're shooting free throws, Draymond's like, hey, KD, we got a spot for you, man. Yeah. That's what was they were recruiting him after games. They were going to the Hamptons to get him. That's what they did.
That's the most surprising part. Like,
is it really though? Is it really surprising?
I think it is, because how do you have that much tunnel vision? Like,
this is just another saga in the petty wars of the National Basketball Association. It's like this. They could take a reality show and put it on. It could be the real players of Orange County or whatever it is with NBA players, because all they do is fight. It's like reality TV. It's petty. It's
especially
immature.
since you add LeBron into there.
Oh, Oh, no.
That'd be a great show.
LeBron would be over there drinking his wine, sipping, you know, talking about people behind their back, orchestrating moves, getting people fired, and then when it comes to, did you get him fired? No. So on LeBron camera, or on camera LeBron, I mean, it's just petty.
Yeah.
And I'm not shocked by it, but I think that Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant. And if that's not going to change, that it works for him.
Yeah. Did you see Jared Jack's tweet
I did
on
not.
Twitter? He said, y'all really thought the league was broken, but wait till you see KD, LeBron, and Anthony Davis on the same team next season.
Oof.
What do you think of that?
I don't think that would ever happen.
You don't think that'll happen?
No, but the Warriors would be done real quick.
Talk about
I mean, Kevin would have to take another pay cut. And I think that's what the issue here is. Kevin wants to get paid. And he deserves to be
He'll
paid.
get paid wherever he goes.
New York state of mind. The Knickerbockers have a lot of money.
Jason Colicchio's really excited about that.
Yeah, on his way to Dallas. We just have a quick moment here to talk about your guy, Carmelo Anthony, former Thunder.
Whoa.
Your guy.
When did he become my guy? He's Jason's guy.
27 days as a Hawk and 10 games as a Rocket, and he is out of Houston after 10 games. Where will Melo land?
I could see him back in New York or nowhere. It's hard to pin him on a place because he can't play for a contender. It's clearly evident he didn't fit in OKC. He didn't fit in Houston. Those were two great teams. Houston was in the conference finals, like you said earlier, a game away from the finals last year. And he just doesn't fit. Like I don't know what it is, but he just doesn't have a home as a starter on a contender anymore.
I think you're right. I think Carmelo Anthony's done. The Puerto Rican national team wants. They have a spot for him. He can play big in those national games, I guess. But I don't think that Carmelo Anthony will stoop to that. But, yeah, I think.
The slander needs to stop on him. He's a Hall of Famer, one of the all-time great scorers. People act like he's been a bum forever. He just fell off the cliff. It happens to everyone.
Yeah, it happened.
It just happens. It'll happen to everyone in the league at some point.
Yeah, it happened, and it happened quickly.
It did.
But it is about time to get out of there. Thank you guys for watching One-on-One on OSU Student Radio KXUY Sunlink Channel 112. We will be back on Monday, our only show next week. Gabe's over there behind the camera. He is no longer our golf expert because that just went south so quickly.
Oh.
But thank you for watching One-on-One on OSU Student Radio KXUY Sunlink Channel 112. We will see you Monday.
Determining your future by selecting a major can be difficult.
It's okay to be undecided.
Connect with the College of Arts and Sciences, where your options are endless.
Where you can uncover your passions and achieve your goals.
Express your creativity by exploring a career in the visual and performing arts.
Investigate new discoveries to make the world a better place with a career in science.
Advance knowledge, communicate progress, and contribute to a healthier planet with a career rooted in the social sciences.
Discover your career by looking at the world from different perspectives through the humanities.
Realize a better tomorrow through problem solving and mining data that can change lives.
CAS prepares you to succeed through internships, study abroad, student-guided research projects, and service activities.
With 109 majors, 52 minors, and 24 departments, the only thing missing is you. College of Arts and Sciences.
Connect.
Achieve. Succeed.
When you have a team of physicians and nurses that really truly care about their patients, that translates into patient care.
It's a small practice, it's a small town. Everybody really takes that time to put the patient first.
Everybody cares what's happening to me and that I'm making progress and I'm gaining my freedom back and my mobility back. This patient is saying thank you.
This spring, I invite you to shop in downtown Stillwater. Downtown Stillwater is home to locally owned shops, boutiques, eateries, and dependable professionals that you can trust. Find the perfect gift for your graduate, have a delicious meal with mom, or just stop in to enjoy great spring savings. By creating a demand for local goods and services, you can ensure a place for the local businesses that help give our community character and keep it unique. On behalf of Downtown Stillwater, thank you for shopping local.
my mind, I was never going to walk right again. Before we were through, we had walked 23 steps. And that was my first steps of freedom. This patient is saying thank you.